So what is up, fellow YouTubers? My name is Mike, this is Extreme Automotive Addiction, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of owning quite a few vehicles. Now, if you guys know me and you follow my channel, you know that I do buy, sell, and trade quite a bit. I actually went through a lot of cars just the inception of the channel, and I really honestly am trying to slow down. I really truly am. I just keep finding things, I keep looking, I keep thinking, oh well, this would be cool, this would be nice, but I'm at the point now where I have to get rid of one or two or three in order to make room for the next toy. Right now I do have 15 that is here in the shop at the moment, but I have another 5 that is out right now. I have one over in Benicia that is still for sale. I have 2 in Merced that are out for some repairs and things like that. One of those is going to be coming back. The other one I'm planning to sell. I have one in Sacramento that's having some work done on it right now, and I do have one that I just bought that's going to be shipped, should be heading this way next week sometime. I hope within the next week or so I should have that in there, and of course I'll do a video on that, but that's going to be another video entirely. What I want to do today is talk about the pros and cons of owning so many vehicles, and really what I like, what I don't like, and basically I'm going to start out with the cons, because actually the list of cons is a little longer than the pros. Surprise, surprise, but I'll wrap it all up in the end, I promise. So the first real con about owning so many vehicles is you have to have the space for them. When I bought this place, and I'm very lucky that I do have property, I do have the shop, but I had this shop built about 2 years ago, and it's 4,000 square feet, and I thought at the time there's no way that I'm ever going to run out of room with the shop. I'll never have that many vehicles to where I can fill this thing up. And now here it is. Really, it wasn't even a year later, and I was already starting to run out of room. So that is a bit of a con. You know, no matter where you live or what you have, I mean, some people do have the resources and everything like that, and if you do, that's great, but having space for them is very, very difficult. And me personally, I like to keep my vehicles under lock and key, under alley elements in something like this, and I don't want to keep them outside. Certainly if I wanted to keep vehicles outside, I could have another 20 or 30 vehicles and still be okay, but I like to keep them inside. I like to keep them out of the elements. The next con is the expense of owning these vehicles, and this is a multifaceted area. There's several different expenses that you have, but the first one I want to talk about is registration. Here in California, registration for vehicles is not exactly the cheapest. You pay every year, and it's getting more and more expensive every year. The rates go up every year. As you can imagine, having 20 vehicles, I have at least one a month. Sometimes I might have 3 or 4 a month that I have to pay. Anything newer than a 1976, every other year I've got to have the vehicle pass a smog inspection, which at present right now is about 65 bucks, and it's only going up. So yeah, it gets fairly expensive to register these vehicles. Another part of the expense is just the routine maintenance on these vehicles. You got tires, you got brakes, you got oil changes and everything like that. Now, oil changes, for example, I don't drive these vehicles nearly enough in a year, probably even in 5 or 6 years, to really warrant an oil change based on mileage. I may put a couple hundred miles, maybe at best 400 or 500 miles a year per vehicle, and that's probably stretching it. So I try to do the oil changes at least once a year, maybe every 18 months or so. But you know, you start figuring out even like 50 bucks per vehicle times 20 vehicles, it adds up quite a bit. Then there's also just the regular maintenance stuff that comes up. I mean, I try to get the vehicles out once a month, and I guarantee at least one vehicle is going to have something going on with it, something that needs to be tweaked, something that needs to be worked on, replaced, fixed, or what have you. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just what happens. So that gets rather expensive as well. Insuring all these vehicles is another expense. Now, all these vehicles are insured. They have full coverage on them. I can drive anyone, anytime. It's not a big deal. I have limited mileage that I can put on them, and they have to be in an enclosed garage. But I use Hagerty, and I'm not getting paid to say this. Hagerty actually does a really great job. I've got an outstanding agent. Every time I make a car change, I just send her a text, let her know what the value is, send her some pictures and everything like that, and she takes very good care of me. So she does an excellent job for me, but that is an expense. Now, it's not as bad as you would think. I mean, 20 vehicles, you might think that I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars a year, or maybe even a month, to insure these vehicles. I'm actually not. Truthfully, I don't pay much more to insure all 20 vehicles than I do our 2 daily drivers that my wife and I use. So going with Hagerty is not bad. They've been really good. They actually insure my vet. All these vehicles behind me, even though they're newer, they will insure them for me and take care of me in that respect. So I highly recommend Haggerty. I've heard good things about Grundy Insurance as well. So if you guys have some classic cars, some specialty cars, look up either one of those companies. They'll treat you right and they'll take care of you, and you'll get a really great rate. Well, another con is just keeping them clean. Especially living out in the rural area, even though this shop's pretty well built, still they get very dusty. During the summertime, I'm out here just about every day, every other day at the most, dusting them off. And yeah, I know, cry me a river, right? But it does take about an hour when they're all in here to dust them all off, clean them all up. Then every now and then I want to go through and clean them up, wipe them down under the hood, inside, the rims, the tires, that type of thing. I will go through and do like a spray detail and things like that on them just to kind of shine them up a little bit. But as far as actually doing wax and buffing and cutting and polishing and things like that, I actually have someone that comes in and does that. So there's another expense right there to get them to come in. And pretty much I can consistently have my guy coming in, you know, really once every other month and doing a group of cars just to kind of stay up on them and keep them clean and keep them looking good. But it does take time just to keep them up and just keep them clean, because when I walk out to my shop, I want my vehicles to be in good shape. I want them to be running and ready and look good and good, clean and be clean inside. You know, someone comes over and sees them, I want them to present themselves in the best light possible. So I like to keep them clean, and that is somewhat time consuming. So now you're asking, okay, Mike, what are the pros? Come on, this is kind of a downer here. Well, obviously the pros are owning all these amazing vehicles. Knowing that I can come out and get in any one that I want, drive it anytime I want, it's actually a dream come true for me. I remember as a kid, when I was younger, I used to have dreams about owning multiple vehicles and being able to just get in and drive whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and be able to enjoy it. And that is definitely a pro to owning all these vehicles. Another amazing aspect is just simply owning them and being able to look at them. That is such a big part of it for me. Is I enjoy just being able to come out here, sit up here in the loft. This is a great view. I get to look down over the vehicles or walk around the shop, maybe take different angles on different vehicles and just look at them, look at the beauty, the design, make plans, think about, okay, I'd like to do this to that one or that to this one. That to me is just awesome, and I love being able to do that. I can spend hours out here in the shop. But truthfully, I would have to say the best part of owning so many vehicles would be the connections that I've made, the people that I've met, been able to have this channel. I've got some amazing subscribers, some amazing followers on Instagram. Your guys' comments are awesome. I meet the greatest and coolest people out at Cars and Coffee, car shows, things like that. I was even commenting to my buddy Wade the other day that really we are just so incredibly blessed to have made the connections with the people that we've made. I have truly made some great friends, friendships that I cherish, friendships that I greatly value through this hobby, and it's amazing. I have nothing bad to say about it. There's just some great people out there, and yeah, it's truly been a blessing. So in conclusion, is it worth it? You're damn right it's worth it. And if you're watching this video or you subscribe to this channel, you would agree it's worth it. You know, just the connections that I've made with people, the people I've met, the friendships I've made, people that share the same passion, the same enjoyment, get the same pleasure out of these vehicles. It's absolutely worth it. It's great. It's phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about it. Sure, I get frustrated sometimes when I have another issue with one of my vehicles. I've got to get it over for this, or you got to get it down for that. This needs to be taken care of. That needs to be taken care of. This is going to cost twice of what I had anticipated it was going to cost. But in the long run, it's definitely worth it. It actually pains me to get rid of my vehicles when I do decide I want something different, and I've got to let go of one or two of them just to make room for that new vehicle. It does bother me. It's difficult sometimes for me to do it. It's getting more and more difficult for me to let the vehicles that I have in here go, but sometimes it's just necessary to move on to the next toy. But yeah, it's absolutely worth it. I love it. I love the hobby. I love the passion. I love your guys' comments. I love the support. So keep it coming. I'm going to end this video. If you like it, please do give me a thumbs up. That is greatly appreciated. If you're stopping in for the first time or haven't already, please subscribe to this channel, Extreme Automotive Addiction. P.O. Box and Instagram will be in the description below. And with that, God bless, take care, have an absolutely amazing day.